anything specific, we would love to see your faces. If you can turn your video on. Eric loves that. We are in a mastermind with him every week, and we get in big trouble if we don't have our cameras on. All right, so welcome. It is the 23rd of October. I don't know how. Anybody else here know how? It is wild and crazy. And tonight, like I said, we are going to be having the incredible Eric Worre on. He'll be on here in just a few minutes. But, you guys, one of the most powerful things, and if you were at convention, you heard it spoken so many times. But if you're new and network marketing or Life Vantage is new to you, first of all, we want to welcome you. So everybody in the chat, give some love to all the new people that are here joining the family. We welcome you. We welcome you. One of the greatest and most beautiful gifts of this profession, and Sean says it in every single profession, every single presentation, is the gift of personal development and growth. When we came into this in network marketing, we had never done anything like this before in our lives prior to Life Vantage. And there's this whole stretching. Does anybody here ever feel like they're stretching a little bit outside of their comfort zones? Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like you're stretching out of your comfort zones, or doing something that's new, or listening to something, or trying just something new, or talking to somebody, or maybe doing your first 3-way chat, or if your first 3-way call, or validating, or maybe putting a post in. I remember doing my first stories post. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to figure it out and start. And now it just becomes part. So it's just a fun thing. And part of that growth is that personal growth. And Carrie Dickey taught us from the very beginning that our business will never be bigger than us. Whew. I can hear her in my head talking and saying it again. Carrie Dickey, for those of you that don't know who she is the #1 woman in Life Vantage, and she's within our organization on our support team. And I hear her in my head all the time saying, Michelle, your business will never be bigger than you. So I was like, what do I need to do? And it was constantly get uncomfortable, feel the fear and do it anyway, and get some personal development and growth. And so that's what we did. And that is truly every day one of my biggest personal, right? We always talk about integrity, having integrity in life and doing the things that you're going to say you're going to do with others, right? But then there's also the integrity within yourself. And through that, when you say you want something, or you want to grow, or you're going to make a decision to do it, that is up to us, and nobody else knows but us, but we know. And we get proud of ourselves when we do those things. And then sometimes we're hard on ourselves when we're not. But then we have to have grace, right? We have to give ourselves a pat on the back, and we can restart every single second of the day. But she just says your business will never be bigger than you. So every day, my goal is to get uncomfortable and to try something new, or to stretch myself in different ways. And so Eric's going to come on and share with us a few different things. But before that happens, I just want to ask, let's see, Miss Jillian, I know is out there, and we've got Amy and some others too. I would love to know, has anybody here ever, put a 2 in the chat if you've ever attended an Eric Worre online event, an in-person event, put a 2 in the chat if you have, or if you have. And then put a 3 in the chat if you found major value in doing so, if it impacted you in some way, personally, professionally, in so many. Oh, look at that, Amy, 3333333, and I see some exclamation points for in-person, virtual, 333s, amazing. One of the stories with Sean and I was at one of the one of the in-person events. We bought tickets, and because we've always learned and known that the energy is in the front of the room. So when you get started, sometimes you're investing that money, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not earning this yet, but I know that I've got to invest it because I've got to grow. But we have to take the action. We don't always want to just be doing the activities. So we were sitting up front at an Eric Worre event, and then Eric Worre comes out, and then suddenly Tony Robbins is coming out. It was the first time that we had ever seen Tony Robbins in person live. I had heard of him, I had watched some of his stuff. And then Sean took his notebook while we were sitting there. Some of you know this story, and he was showing me page after page after page of every, like, it seemed like the majority of all the words were decide, written down, make a decision, decide, 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 decide. And that is when Sean came home and got his tattoo on his wrist that says decide. It was his little sticky note to himself that if you want to do something, you have to make a decision, get out of your head, get into your heart, and just get into action. Don't think, just do. And that was also the event that was very monumental for us as well, in the sense of, we saw Tony Robbins. For those of you that know, you know, for those of you that don't, Tony Robbins has played a huge impact in our personal life, our professional life, our family life, has helped me in huge, immense ways through different abuse things that I've been through in life, but also professionally, and then with friends and community. So we saw Tony Robbins. He was there for 4 hours that day. And then we came home and I said to Sean, oh my gosh, we have to go to we need to go to Tony Robbins' real event. We booked it. That was our New Year's deal. We went in March, and then we signed up at that event to be platinum partners. And that, by doing that, that changed our life. But if we wouldn't have gone to Eric Worre, done the do, listen, like all these things, you just look back at life, you know, guys, right? When you look back, you're like, what led to this and what led to that? And the stretching, the growing, and the healing in a lot of ways too. So I'm going to stop talking because I want to hear, Jillian, are you there? If you can unmute, I see Amy, either one. Jillian, oh, there's Jillian. Jillian, I know today we were talking a little bit and you said you had a huge impact with Eric Worre. Can you just kind of share that real quick before Eric gets on? You never know, he might get on and might hear you.
Yeah. So when I started network marketing, LifeVantage, I thought I hated the industry. It was kind of like the one thing holding me back, because I knew that what I was capable of, I knew what these products did, and I had 100% belief in those things. And Eric always says there are 3 things that can make you, that are required to have success in network marketing. And it's a belief in yourself, a belief in your company, and a belief in the industry. And I did not believe at all in the industry. And so I was challenged and encouraged to learn about the industry. And I remember Sean saying, well, if you don't like network marketing, go figure out why. Like, do your research on network marketing. Your research is like your passion. You will research all the time. And so I did. And I read Eric Worre's book, GoPro. I think that was the very first book that I ever read about specifically network marketing. And then I just listened to a ton of stuff that he had to say about the industry and what the industry was. And it blew my mind. And it got me to the place where I'm bulletproof on what this industry is. Just this weekend, we had friends in town that we've been friends with since middle school. And we spent a lot of time this weekend and just hearing different members of my family and her talking about her life and her family and what they're doing to, get ahead in life and to succeed in life and to do all these things. I was like, oh my goodness, I am in the best industry in the entire world. You guys, like, you have no idea what you are suffering through, and you don't have to be. And so it was really a couple different things. He introduced me to so many people. He is so good at putting people on the GoPro stage that are a conglomerate of a million different personalities, and that are just proof that you don't have to be anyone else. You can be you, and you can be super successful in this industry. And there's people that got on that stage that I didn't resonate with at all, but he introduced me to Jesse Lee and so many other amazing people that have actually, they've completely rocked my world. And if it weren't for the stage that he created for those people, I would never have known who they are. Like we always say, LifeVantage brought our family to us. I wouldn't know Sean and Michelle without LifeVantage. I wouldn't know so many people without LifeVantage, but it's this Eric's doing that in this level of all people in the industry. And then we got his amazing son for a couple of years with LifeVantage. And being able to become friends with Taylor, Worre, his son, and just have him speak some hard truths and good truths into my life, I'm like, he's been around this industry and he is a direct product of what his dad has taught him. And we can just learn. And every time he would speak, I'd just sit there and listen and like, okay, what can I gain from this man? And so just having all of these different tools handed to us by this professional. And the last thing that I said that has always stuck out to me is our industry isn't perfect. And like I said, with the people that I was with this weekend, I kept thinking, oh my goodness, what my industry is not perfect, but it is a better way. I worked at the hospital for 13 years, and a couple of people that I was spending time with this weekend are still in that grind. And I just kept thinking, oh my goodness, I'm in a better way. Like I'm in such a better way. But the key word that he has always said is the word professional. And I had run into a lot of very unprofessional network marketers, which had built what I believed about the industry. And from the beginning, in his book, I'm looking at it right now, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. We're all going to be really bad at the beginning. I was really, really bad at the beginning. But if you do what he says, you become really good and you become professional very, very quickly. And that's what I wanted. There are so many different tools he gives and so many different avenues to grow that. And it's not just personality dependent, because I am just like Eric. I'll go home after an event and I will not speak to another human for days. This is that introverted, ambivert thing. It's real. And I love hearing from somebody, but he also brings people to the stage and brings people in front of you that aren't that way, that are total extroverts, that are totally different personalities, and just elevates the profession. So he has taught me, I think, probably the most about my love for this profession, for sure.
Amazing. And I just got a private message from my handsome husband saying that, lucky you, Jillian Fisher. Eric Worre has been on listening to your powerful testimony of his impact in your gorgeous life. There he is. He is smiling right there at you. I told him that he could hop on a couple minutes early. So Jillian, I know that means a lot to Eric. Eric, yes, he's the #1 coach and trainer in the world, but let me tell you, Eric has the biggest heart and cares about each and every one of you that are on here. So Amy, you've got 1 minute to tell Eric what he's done, because he's going to get on here and blow everybody's mind. So yes, you're going to say it to him. You tell everybody here and tell Eric.
Guys,
Right
I
now.
think Jillian is a hard one to follow because she said it all and she said it perfect and beautiful. I'll just say the first event I went to, we were barely rubbing 2 pennies together and everything was about money. We don't have the money. We don't have the money. And having to make decisions based on not having money is a really hard place to be, guys. And so I just want to tell you, make the investment and get your butt there, because my husband surprised me. He bought a plane ticket. He put me on a plane. I'm this scared little girl, I felt like, getting on a plane, flying to Vegas, December of 2018. And I'm looking back at my photos. This is me, a picture of Fraser Brooks. And guys, I met on that stage Jessie Lee Ward, who just changed my life. I met Fraser Brooks. I met Ray Higdon. I met Eric Worre. I met all these people. And I said going into this event, I'm like, I've been doing this business for 2 years. And like Jillian said, she hit everything on the head. I didn't know how to be a professional. And I said, there's like a brick wall in front of me right now, and I don't know how to break through. And when I showed up to that event, scared and unsure, and thank God for the angels of like Mark Johnson and Sean, who took me and like kind of took care of me while I was in Vegas for the first time by myself. I felt like I broke through, and it paved a whole different way for me. So I'm telling you guys from my heart, stop saying no because you don't have the money and start saying yes because you don't have the money. You need to figure out how to grow yourself into a professional to be able to be where you need to be. And that's all I got to say.
Mic drop. Eric, what do you think about that? I see him smiling and looking at
Hey,
you, Amy.
everybody.
That
How you guys doing?
that is his heart.
Well, it was nice to hear both of you. I was just jumping on to make sure I had the right link, and all of a sudden I'm hearing all this stuff. It's like you're stepping into your funeral and listening to people talk about you or something. Um, yeah. But thank
Hey, it was beautiful stuff, right? You are leaving a legacy, Mr.
Yes,
Worre.
yes. Well, let me tell you what makes me happy. What makes me happy is not the compliments. What makes me happy is the tap on the shoulder, which you guys just gave me a little bit. The reason why I do what I do right now, I'm missing my Minnesota Vikings playing on Monday Night Football right now. Just so you know, if any of you put a spoiler into the chat, I will hang up immediately if you tell me that something's happening in this game that I don't need, that I haven't seen yet because I'm recording it. It's downstairs and I'm going to watch it after I do another call, after I do this call. So anyway, that's commitment, just so you know, because my Vikings are the worst. But anyway, sorry. They just suck.
Sounds like the Broncos for us. Sounds
They're,
like the
they're,
Broncos.
they're worse than the Broncos. They have to trade their whole team now, and we have to just start over. Anyway, so
Well, welcome, Eric. Thank you
nice
for
to be here. Nice to be here, and thank you, and truly thank you for the nice comments. I live for the tap on the shoulder. The tap on the shoulder. You know what I mean by that? What I mean is 5 years down from now, one of you somewhere on a beach or in an airport or somewhere in the world, I get a tap on the shoulder. Excuse me, you don't know me, but we were on a Zoom on October 23rd, 2023, and I was just kind of hanging around. I was kind of average, and nobody knew I was close to making a decision, but I made a decision. And I went out there and I crushed it, and my family's different, and I helped tens of thousands of people, and you're a little part of that story. So I live for that, the little tap, the little hey. So I don't know who it's going to be, from one of you, some of you. It's not going to be all of you. I know that. There's probably, how many are on here? 90 people.
Yeah.
I can't, maybe 10 of you. I don't know. Put me in the chat if you think it might be you. I'd be curious as to see who even believes it might be possible for themselves. Do you think it might be possible? I would ask you also, how big can you dream? Just out of curiosity, how big can you dream? How much can you imagine earning in our profession per year? How much can you imagine? What's the top of your imagination? There's no limits. Yeah, there's a limit. Come on. In real life, give me a real life number. I've helped about 1,000 people get to $1 million a year. So, and I have a new small mastermind group of people that are committed to getting to $1 million a month, that are already well past $1 million a year and working on $1 million a month. Because not everybody is. Some people are real comfortable at $1 million a year. They're super fine. Some people are comfortable at 6 figures. Some people are comfortable a couple thousand a month on top of whatever they got going on. And I'm not judging it at all. I'm just letting you know what's possible. In our profession, there really isn't a limit. It's only a matter, and you don't have to kill yourself, and you don't have to abuse your family by not being around, and you don't have to give up your relationships, and you don't have to give up your health. You can find ways to do that. You can find ways to have what you want in our business by getting more efficient with your systems, more efficient with your leadership, more efficient with your reach in your recruiting, and do it in smarter ways instead of just abusing yourselves. See, the one thing you guys have in your company, and I admire your company. One of the reasons why I admire your company is there's a lot of lazy products in network marketing. And that does not describe you. You do not have lazy products. But I would also tell you amazing products can give you, let me say it this way. Don't take your amazing products for granted. Because you can add customers and they'll stay around, and you can make a nice little income, and you don't have to work so hard. And it's just kind of like a nice little lifestyle thing. And because of that, because you don't have to kill yourself in order to be able to grow month over month, year over year, you can kind of go on cruise control and just kind of hang out and live at 5% of your potential when there's much, much more. Your company should be $1 billion company. In my opinion, they've done their part. In order to get to $1 billion company, guess who has to make that happen? You do. There has to be leaders who rise up and say, I'm going to build an army of people telling this story about this product around the world. I'm going to not waste this moment. I'm not going to waste this opportunity. I'm not going to squander my chances of not only helping myself, but helping other people. It starts with you getting equipped, being prepared. And I will tell you something, and I want you to listen to me. When I spend a full day working, sometimes my filter comes off. So just be aware. My filter might come off. The next 3 years are going to be the most volatile that I've seen in the last 35 years. Coming out of post-pandemic, people got very, very weak in the network marketing field as a group of people. Because once the pandemic hit, we had a little spike of business. The superstars did everything, and everybody else just plugged in. And people got into a bunch of bad habits. And they've come out of pandemic with a big, long list of limiting beliefs. We're not succeeding because of this, because of that, because of this. They changed the algorithm. People are lazy. There's too many distractions. There's too much competition. All this other kind of stuff. It's all nonsense. None of it's real. It's all a complete illusion. But it will turn into reality for people who do not capture this moment right now. In the next 36 months, it's going to be like Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities. It's going to be the best of times for some, and it's going to be the worst of times for others. Really, and no kidding. You're going to see companies disappear that were doing fine in 6 months, gone. And guess where people are going to go? Because people never leave network marketing, really. They might leave a company, but they don't. It's like it's in the blood. Once you're in, you're in. You might say, oh, I'm sick of this. I'm leaving my company. Well, guess what I can predict? I don't know when it's going to happen, but you're going to find another home in another company at some point. It's going to happen. So people are going to be looking for a legitimate company with legitimate products and a legitimate compensation plan and great systems, great leadership, great culture, great team identity. And if you do your job right now, and prepare for that moment, you, not just the company, but you will be on the list of companies that when somebody's between companies and they're looking for a home, they'll say, I have to call Kelly before I do that. Before I make my decision, I have to call Jalen. Before I make my decision, I've got to call Rachel. I've got to call Amy. I have to have this conversation with Lee, because before I cross them off my list, I have to have a conversation, because they've demonstrated that they're professionals, they're with a legacy company, and I think I can make more money with them than I can anyplace else. Now's the time for you to get a little loud. I'm not saying be obnoxious, but known. You need to be known as an organization. You need to be known as a team. You need to be known as a company. You need to be known by your products and your opportunity. You need to be known as a place where people go to be mentored into a leader. If you're known just for that, people should join you for your team culture more than even your products. For the brand that you built. That's the opportunity that's in front of you. There's literally going to be legends created out of the next 18 months, the next 24 months. The people who are prepared for this moment. This is a time to be active. This is a time to be moving. This is a time to smash all limiting beliefs that are rolling around inside of your team. Make that list of the reasons why people are not more successful. Write them all down and smash them all because they are not real. They're just not. People are lazy. Nobody wants to work anymore. Nope. You know what the translation of that limiting belief is? You are not leading them. You are not putting the vision out that's inspiring them to take action. You are not showing them why taking action today is worth the sacrifice. It's on you. People are not lazy. People are everybody's procrastinating. There's too many distractions. No, you are not causing them to focus. So here's the thing. I told you it's no filter. It's no filtered time of day for Eric. So sorry. My apologies. I say all this because when I first got involved in network marketing, you know what I really wanted? I remember reading a couple books about, somebody being mentored by a millionaire. And I'm like, I want to be mentored by a millionaire. I want somebody to just find me and I'll work for them and I'll do whatever they tell me to do. And somebody to force me to do what I was capable of doing. That's what I wanted. Somebody to just show up and kick me in the ass and make me do what I was capable of doing. But they weren't around. They just weren't there. So here's what I did. I said, all right, there's no leaders around here, but in the meantime, I'm just going to do my best. And I'm going to pretend to be a leader until a real pro shows up. So that's what I did. I just tried to kind of pretend to be what I saw the other people being in other markets and do my best, just kind of faking it. Not faking it, but winging it. Letting people know, hey, here's what I'm going to try to do until a leader shows up. And guess what? A leader showed up. Finally, a leader showed up. And it wasn't another person. It was me who just, through the process of winging it and saying somebody has to do this, and I hope somebody qualified shows up, I ended up being that person. I was like, because I never thought that I had what it took to be a leader. I would work hard, I'd hustle, but I was more a second person. I wasn't a president, I was a vice president. People would here's how, some of you older remember Johnny Carson. I was a Ed McMahon. I wasn't a Johnny Carson. I'd be the second fiddle helping. I was a helper. I didn't consider myself a leader. So this profession, like literally, it sounds dramatic to say it saved my life, but it really did. Because I was going to live a substandard life, selling myself at 5% of my value forever. If I didn't have the challenge that this profession gave me. So I say that to some of you that might not believe that you have what it takes, but you do. You actually do. And here's the thing. Will you tell my next Zoom I'm going to be like, give me 5 minutes? Sorry. No spoilers. No spoilers in the chat. So this is such a big moment, such a big time. And we were talking about GoPro. And let me tell you what I decided to do with this year's GoPro. You've seen in the past, it's been like this grid, this big Zoom grid. Here's the 50 speakers that are going to be speaking on stage. It's like a big dance recital. Everybody goes up for 15 minutes and tries to be Tony Robbins. Everybody gives a motivational talk. It's this big, gong show of speakers. And I love everybody. But this year we need to focus. So this year I'm the only one training for 3 days. On day one, I'm training all day on how to be a recruiting machine. No matter what your skill, no matter what your talent, no matter what your ability, whatever your past results or lack of results, by the end of that day, you're going to feel confident that you can go out and recruit on demand. So day two is all about duplication. You might be able to bring people in, but if they're just laying there doing nothing, I spent my first 3.5 years recruiting people and them doing nothing. I never had duplication. I had addition and subtraction. I'd add a few people, I'd lose a few people. Add a few people, lose a few people. So frustrating watching people like the Pose have 8 trillion people on their team. I didn't even know how that could even happen. And then I figured out duplication. So day two, I'm going to teach you duplication, how to build a team that's not all about you. Okay? How to duplicate. And day three, it's how to become a leader and how to find leaders on your team and help develop them into high-level leaders. Because ultimately, what it comes down to in this business is how many leaders can you develop? Not earners, leaders. And there's a huge difference. So that's going to be it. I'm training 6 hours a day for those 3 days. We're going to have a couple panels. I have a few celebrities that are going to be coming in. We'll have a $1 million Hall of Fame ceremony for some new $1 million earners. And that's going to be a wrap. But we're selling this for $197. So here's what I will tell you. If I came to your house and trained you for 3 days, would you pay $197? If I sat in your living room and trained you for 3 days, would you do it? I hope you would. I hope the answer is yes. Well, that's how we're doing this. The in-person is sold out, so we're broadcasting it directly to your home. And wherever you're at in the world, and some of you might not know this, but we just decided this 2 days ago. We've always done it live. I don't know if there's people international on this Zoom right now. But the time zones have always been weird because we start at 9 a.m. Pacific and we go to about 6 p.m. Pacific each day for 3 days. So people in international markets had a difficult time sometimes based upon the time zone. So we're going to allow 3 days of replay of the event. It'll be like about a 4-hour lag that after 9 a.m. on Friday, about 4 hours later, that 9 a.m. session will start. And it'll go through. So you'll have all of it. And you'll have 3 days up until Wednesday of the following week to be able to watch it all. Okay? So I want as many people to watch live as possible because it's a different experience. And watching a replay, when you're connected live, it's special. And we're going to have all kinds of surprises along the way. So look, if you want this next year to be amazing, you want to close the year strong, this next year to be spectacular, make sure that you register, get a ticket, lock in a seat. Number 2, get everybody on your team, every single person on your team that you care about. If you hate them, don't have them get a ticket. If you want them to quit, don't even tell them about it. But if you care about them, make sure, if they're unsure, drag them to your house, handcuff them to your couch, and sit with them for 3 days and make sure that they take notes. Because ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance in our profession is devastation. It's disaster. It's the worst. What you don't know can hurt you. You have to have the information. What I want this event to be about, look, the 197 is not going to do a thing to change my life, but it can really help yours. And at this stage of my career, everything I'm doing is about legacy. I want you to have a little skin in the game, so you show up. So you're annoyed if you can't watch part of it. I want you to be a little bit annoyed. So I hope you're ready. Not all of you are going to register. The 91 people on here, some of you are going to go, whatever. That was an interesting Zoom. I got stuff to do. I got to go. I got a birthday party that weekend. But I didn't come here for the I came here for the people who want to make this next year the year that the world knows your name. 7 years ago, nobody knew Jessie Lee's name. Nobody even knew her name. Look what happened in 7 years. So forget about your last 7. Think about your next 7. That's what I'm doing. I'm driven by contribution, growth and contribution. And I want to prepare you to contribute more to your teams and the world than you ever thought possible. We'll do that in 3 days. Okay? So now I am 7 minutes late for my Zoom.
Sure.
I hope he's not too mad at me, but I bet he forgives me. But mad love to all of you. I'm really proud of you for doing what you're doing. And when we get together on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, we're going to have a lot of fun. So I love y'all. And
we love you too. Stay on, everybody. Eric, love you to pieces so much. Please apologize to them and thank them for your time. Okay. Okay, put a 5 in the chat if just that 15-20 minutes was impactful to you in some way. So literally imagine somebody speaking to your soul, believing in you, knowing that you've got it, and giving you literally the tips and tricks and how-tos and just scripts, like all the different things. It makes me emotional too. I know, need more. This is what we get hungry. So Sean has, and I've done it a couple times, we put the link into the chat. We have a special link for our team. So we're working on getting enough people in there so that we can have different groupings and chat rooms and whatnot. So go grab that there. But you guys, who here, I'm going to do one more, put a 7, lucky number 7. Who here did Eric Worre's last recruiting, however many hours that it was? Imagine that for 3 days. I think each and every one of us left there going like, oh my gosh, I feel like he just did a full-on LifeVantage training specific to our entire systems. He speaks directly to us and all of the different things. So it is so insanely powerful. Also that it's December 1st through the 3rd. It's going to be starting live at, they're going to open the doors and whatnot at 9 Central. So change that to your time zone. And then it will be opening up at, 10 Central. And then it'll start at 11 and then go till 8. Now, again, remember, he's so grateful or so gracious in figuring out the replays. However, do whatever you can. I'm just, like he said, live is best. That weekend is now blocked. I saw Jillian saying like she blocks that because she knows that's always when GoPro is. This is for you. This is for your growth. Going back into the replays, not being in the chat, it's all just different. Look, arrange, do all those things. Eric, for people that get registered now, is offering 4, he's calling them membership experience calls on November 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd for an hour over 12 o'clock Central. And anybody that does VIP, if they choose to do that, get an extra 30 minutes with him. So he's literally offering up 4 hours of one-on-one time within the group of people that go on there prior to that. Like, that's amazing. And there's a reason why for many years, Sean and I have gone to all the GoPro events, That's why we are in a weekly mastermind with him and the others, because we need to constantly grow. Like even his little bit there of looking in the mirror, I'm constantly looking in the mirror, seeing what else we need to do for you all. So I know we are over on time. There's going to be the other meeting that's going to be going on here, but I hope you didn't mind going over a few minutes and felt that that was of value. And thank you. Let's shout out to Amy and Jillian for sharing their heart and their strength and their conviction for all of that as well. And if you guys have any questions, you've got my phone number or messenger, or get with the team and then get with me. The link is there. I'll put it into Telegram and one person as well. Make sure it's that link and not something else that you see somewhere on social, because this is the one that will get our team all together, you guys. We love you to pieces. We're so grateful for you. Let's get registered. I'm going to work on stuff here in Sioux Falls, work on things in other areas to gather everyone as well. And you will want the information because you will want to go back and listen or re-listen to people, and you can use it for different trainings as well. So those of you that are staying on for Tanya's generous gifts of getting to the next level, stay on, of course. And everybody else that is not, you can absolutely pop off. Oh, so the George and Teresa, hopefully this is okay that we share it. I haven't got a text back yet. Are they on still? But this, I just got this. So everybody check this out real quick.
Sophia, what do you want?
Happy.
Power.
Power? What's power?
I want to drink the power.
You want to drink your power?
Yeah.
What's power?
Axio.
Axio? Alrighty.
I want power. I think they said that she was 3 years old, I think is what they said. They may have had to get off, but 3 years old, that just happened. She wants her power. So kids feel it and know it just like the rest of us. So love you guys. We're going to stay on. Tanya, we're going to pass it over to you. Sean, if you want to pass it over to Tanya, and you can probably stop the Facebook and the recording, and we'll pass it over to her.
Okay. I might have to reclaim real quick, Tanya, because I can't stop recordings. Back over to you. Stop
No
recording.
worries.